the Cowboys. Staying in the NFC East, and also talking about the AFC South with our Houston Texans. Um, Jayden Daniels is absolutely balling. I do not think in anybody's universe, stratosphere, rookie of the year is close. Offensive rookie of the year is close. And similar to CJ Stroud's rookie season, Jayden Daniels is in the talks for NFL MVP and maybe even argue at the head of the MVP race more than CJ was. That being said, all things considered, through the first 8 games of their rookie campaign, who do y'all think has been the better quarterback between CJ Stroud and Jayden Daniels through the first 8 games of their rookie season?
I say, for me personally, I've yet to see enough for real. But since we got to go with AJ 8 games, the first 8,
I say that I know we have to let the entirety of the season play out.
Yeah.
Just as of now,
Yeah.
Jayden only has 8 games under his belt.
Right. But it's like almost like, well, let's put the respect on CJ that he deserves first to say that there's still some way to go. If your trajectory does look good, right? We say you look good, but let's just put the respect where it's supposed to be. But I'm still gonna answer CJ simply because the Texans, they were not supposed to be that good. And they were that good because of him. Jayden Daniels, like everybody in the NFC was expecting Jayden Daniels and Dan Quinn and that defense over there to do exactly what they are doing now. Because again, everybody was wondering why your boy got shipped out of there and got shipped over to wherever he play at now. The Eagles, right? And I'm like, nah, because the Commanders know what they're doing, bro. They know what they're doing. As soon as I knew Dan Quinn was leaving from being our defensive coordinator to be their head coach, I was like, oh, yeah, it's over with. It's done. Because if they gonna play for him, how he had our defense playing for him in Dallas, oh, this is done. This is over with. So because of that, and D'Amico Ryans was a first-time head coach, Dan Quinn took his team to the Super Bowl, and he lost, of course. Everybody knows about that. And this is now his second outing as coach. And so he came in this role ready to go, had everything where it needed to be. And for them to draft Jayden and to put him there, you know what I'm saying, that was just like they struck gold and it all kind of came together. The way it moved for CJ Stroud moved at him and him only, in my opinion. But the boy is balling though. He is. Yeah, and that Hail Mary made me answering this question way harder.
Yeah, man. So through the first 8 games, Jayden Daniels has a 6-2 record.
Wait. Can I give a little brief before you do the numbers so I can feel confident on how I feel? I have to give it to CJ only because CJ was the beginning of a franchise. This was, I feel like Jay McDaniels was a strong missing piece. I feel like the Commanders wasn't a bad team last year. They lost a lot of games, but they wasn't a bad team. I feel like Heineke was their quarterback, and I mean,
and he was dogging.
You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like they gave good fights. They just didn't win games. And I feel like Jay McDaniels was a strong piece, and it was just more of like, okay, now you got a strong piece. You technically had personnel. You were trending in the right direction. We need to adjust this, adjust that. The Texans were just down bad. in my opinion. And they needed, and it was like we didn't even expect. I didn't expect us to even make the playoffs last year. Like, we wouldn't like. I was just expecting us just to trending up. That's all I expected to see, just to trend up. No, we made it all the way to the playoffs, past the wild card. So, with Jay McDaniels, respect to him, man, and plus he's a little bit more versatile, to where I feel like CJ is a pocket quarterback.
Gang, gang.
The stats for Jayden is going to look better for him because he can run. So I feel like he's going to have so many rushing touchdowns, rushing yards, combined with passing touchdowns, which makes it just looks a little bit more fluffed than what it actually is in reality. I think they're both great quarterbacks. I just think CJ slightly edges Jayden by a hair.
So both of these guys' situations are unique from the standpoint that when they came in to their rookie seasons, the previous year, they were last in their division. Right? Texans were last. CJ come, they go 10-7. Last year, Commanders 4-13. Jayden Daniels is there. Now they're 6-2, good trajectory to win the division at the end of the season. First 8 games, Jayden Daniels 6-2 record, 1,700 passing yards, 70% completion rate, pass completions, 7 touchdowns, two interceptions, rushing over 400 yards with 4 touchdowns, and he has a total of 11 touchdowns on the season. His first 8 games. One more time. Jayden Daniels' first 8 games, 6-2 record, 1,700 passing yards, 70% completion percentage, 7 touchdowns to 2 interceptions passing, and for rushing, he has over 400 rushing yards with 4 touchdowns and a total of 11 touchdowns through his first 8 games. CJ Stroud, his first 8 games, 4-4 record, 2,200 passing yards, a 62% completion rate, 14 passing touchdowns to 1 interception, just 1 rushing touchdown for a total of 15 touchdowns. If you ask me, granted, Jayden Daniels has the extra boost because he has the rushing and running capability.
Right.
And what has made him great, and the reason I'm going to say he's having a better campaign than through the first 8 games, a better campaign than CJ Stroud, is he's been able to show a as perfect as you can get it balance with passing and with running, and being able to do both with the pieces that they have around him. I think he's like flourishing. This team continue, and like also too with the division, our division ain't as great as the NFC East. The AFC South isn't as strong as the NFC East. So considering he's at the helm of that division compared to a Wash Jaguars team, a Wash Titans team, a Wash Colts team, that is highly impressive. That is even if it is to be expected, it still takes a lot to still go there, perform, and make it happen, right? Like just because it's expected don't mean it's supposed to be easy to do. And so for him to be getting the job done with both his legs and his throwing capability, we all know how much I love Houston, how much I'm a diehard Texans, Rockets, Houstonian fan. But the numbers, 1, 2, the record, 3, the division, and knowing that the all of that success can be attributed to him and his greatness. And obviously you can say the same for CJ. With the record and the numbers, I'm gonna give that slight to Jayden. But we'll have and like am I crazy? Do y'all feel like I have recency bias because I feel like his MVP chances are like a bit more closer to happening than CJ's?
No.
I want
Feel
your
like
Texans card
recency
back.
bias, huh?
I want your Texans card back, sir. I need a mail back to my address within 3 business days. We're discussing your contract
Well,
with the Houston Texans.
you went with the
It's
stats,
very
so
disappointing.
you never
It's very
go
disappointing.
against the stats.
I know, bro, but
You got a problem. You need help.
And bro, and it doesn't bother you that he's already in a. You don't think that his position is a better position than CJ was in? Like going into it, like rookie quarterback, rookie coach, rookie receiver. Your top receiver has not quite shown his abilities quite yet, which being Nico Collins. We know he's good. We didn't know he was this damn good. Like going into the season, like we didn't expect that. Jayden McDaniels, like I said, when I seen that, I was kind of like surprised nobody was like pointing it out. Like, hey man, that team can make a nice little run, or he should have a good season. Because like I said, if Heineke was doing decent, and I mean, where is he now? Like that
I
should
mean, yeah,
tell
but
you something.
but to a degree, I hear what you're saying, but to a degree, you are your record. 4-13 is 4-13. Like you can't take 4-13 and be like they was almost there. You know what I'm
I
saying?
mean, well, to a certain extent, that's how I felt about with the Lions. When the Lions before they had the season beforehand, I was like, bro, they looked good. They just kept losing. They just kept losing games. It's a lot of those games they could have won, but they just kept losing. And then what happened the next season, which is last year, they won a lot of those games. They had missing. They figured out, okay, we were that close. All we need is maybe adjustment here, adjustment there. We can be there. They say, no, NFC Championship. And that's how I feel about with them. It's like, bro, all we need is just like a right piece. Oh, right piece is there. Oh, we could probably win some of these games. And that's how I feel like it went with the Hail Mary. If they would have missed that Hail Mary, they would have been what 5-3, which is still a good record. But it still just shows you like those missing pieces, those little itty bitty up and down games. Like they actually they won one of those up and down games or those chance games. So that's what I'm looking at. I'm like, his record is what it is, and he earned it. But it's just like he's in a better position. He was technically in a better position. Like same running back, the receiving personnel is technically the same. So I think what one or two receivers left at that.
But
So
you
it's just kind of
still
like
gotta perform though, dog. Like
that is true. That
I
is true.
can't take. I don't want, and I'm not saying you're doing it, but I'm just saying me personally. I don't want to take away from his greatness solely based off the premise of like, well, yeah, you're supposed to be doing that, or like that's supposed to because like look at Caleb Williams and in the offseason, how much people talked about, wow, they're doing so much to help Caleb Williams as opposed to like the type of help they didn't give Justin Fields. Caleb Williams not balling, considering all the help and the pieces and the moves that they made for him. So you still have to go out there and perform to a, to a high level to make it look like the GMs to a degree did the right thing or knew what they was doing. Um, and and also too, I'm not saying he's ran away with it compared to CJ in their first A game. I'm not saying that. It's a nip and tuck. Obviously, CJ, you can make the argument, hey, Jayden has the capability to run and throw, and CJ still with his arm has more touchdowns than him through their first 8 games. So like I get that. But just in terms of it being able to all translate to winning 6-2 compared to 4-4, and knowing that like it's not a fluke, it's you the real deal. Like I'm a reward the winning more because that's ultimately like what the game is all about. And
I think for me, if I can interject, I think what's being underestimated and for real for me is the fact that CJ didn't have as much as Jayden as far as the coaching and the system that was there pretty much waiting for him. You know what I'm saying? We didn't know what type of system that we was going to get from the Texans.
real quick, this is Quinn's first year, correct?
Mm-hmm.
And like, bro, like their situations are damn near parallel. Granted,
No.
don't have the same experience Dan
That's what I'm
Quinn
saying,
prior,
bro. When Dan
but
Quinn
like,
comes, Dan Quinn brings a culture. We don't know. D'Amico Ryans doesn't bring a culture. They create that culture as their, you know what I'm saying? That's like a put together and went and took off. And all of a sudden now it's a culture in Houston. You know what I mean? I don't feel like a culture, I don't feel like Jayden Daniels is creating a culture in Washington that wasn't there. You know what I mean? I feel like CJ and D'Amico Ryans, they
our
created the
culture was
culture.
still, our culture never left. It just died down. Like, I don't think, like, CJ not doing nothing. CJ, it's not. Is CJ coming in give us like a breath of fresh air? Yes, but we were accustomed to winning even when we had Deshaun. Like, I feel like what you saying is like he's giving us
All that
like
Deshaun, Bill O'Brien, all of that, none of that was culture. None of that was the culture that it is now, bro. None of that. This CJ, D'Amico, Tank Dell, Nico Collins culture before Stephon Diggs. This is a whole different regime from anything Bill O'Brien or Deshaun Watson ever put their hands on. This one right here, like this seems like something that we've been missing. The Texans been missing since '02. You know what I'm saying? Back when we was founded. You know what I'm saying? It feels like, okay, now it makes sense why we did what we did back in '02. This looks like it makes sense. Because, okay, Texans, y'all got y'all money. And now behind the Cowboys and the Steelers, they are maybe the third grossing franchise or fourth. I'm not sure. But now that they got the money, it seems like they're focusing and the culture is on winning games and complementary football and defense.
I got you, man. I'm still a diehard CJ fan, just
I
specifically as
get
we're
where you
talking
at because the
about
numbers don't lie, right? I get you. You a stat guy, and the stats show a story as well.
if and I'm also weighing winning on a heavy like I'm giving that a lot of weight on the scale in the comparison as well.
Well, I mean, think about it too. I mean, what were the teams that CJ went 4-4 went as compared to the teams that Jayden is going 6-2 with? You know what I'm saying? Because the AFC always been slobber knockers. So if CJ going up against AFCs and he going up against NFCs, then now we got to see. You know what I'm saying? Because it's a lot more nip and tuck, like you say.
Yeah.
We can respectfully say it's a close race, guys. I can definitely,
Right.
Yeah,
can
that's
speak well.
like, yeah, it's definitely a close race. When it's a photo finish, I'm not
For
saying
sure.
they
I can
didn't got him
respectfully
by
say
a
that.
landslide or any of that. I wouldn't dare do that. Like, I respect CJ. He's my quarterback. That's my quarterback.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, I just found it very interesting how similar their rookie campaigns have been, from turning over teams who were, like I say, bottom of the division. They're turning the team around. And, Jayden has turned the team around early in the season, whereas again, like the Texans, we didn't overtake the AFC South till like much later on into the season, coming in, new head coaches and so forth. But yeah, man.